Have you ever felt like your MIDI parts sound too basic and computerized in the DAW because you've been stuck in the piano roll clicking away for hours, just trying to get something that actually sounds human that will appeal to people's emotions when they listen to your music? And you've tried everything to help. You've tried the latest MIDI packs, you've tried the latest VST plugins, latest sample packs and loops, but it leaves you frustrated because you still can't get the sound that you're hearing in your head. Well, did you know that a quick fire solution to these problems is actually sitting right underneath your nose? You see, a lot of producers and songwriters are completely put off learning the piano because it just takes too long to learn traditional methods. But what if I told you that you absolutely don't need to learn everything that traditional piano tutors will get you to learn, and you can actually learn in much less time in a strategic way that is designed especially for music producers and songwriters? You see, you just want to sit down in your home studio and create insane chord progressions and melodies in the DAW that stand up against your favorite artists, producers, and composers. So forget the MIDI packs, forget those loops and sample packs, and start learning the keyboard so you can start plugging in your own ideas that you're hearing in your head and take your tracks to the next level. And this is the thing that your tracks have been missing, which is why in this video I'm going to be breaking down 5 left-hand piano chord rhythm patterns that are going to help you to increase the human emotional sound of your piano parts coming up. Hi, I'm Michael Emmerson, professional composer and producer, helping you to accelerate your keyboard skills for your music production. So, one of the problems producers and songwriters face when clicking around in the piano roll is that it's hard to know what to do in the left hand of a MIDI part, which usually results in an overuse of root notes and octaves that look and sound a little bit like this. But with some strategic left-hand patterns, you could turn it into something like this. Makes a difference, right? So let's dive straight into showing you these 5 insanely usable left-hand patterns so you can start plugging them into your tracks straight away. So the first one I've got for you right here is called the root 5th octave, and this is exactly how it sounds. You use the root note of the scale, the 5th note of the scale, and the octave. Now all of these you can play as a chord, and they will look exactly the same if you're playing them in the key of C. Just like that, yeah? Then what you can do is, once you've got the hang of playing them as a chord, try and break them up into broken chords. For example, you could do a bottom, middle, top, middle. And that'd be a great one, great pattern to put with a root 5th octave. So for example, you could put chords with that. Yeah. Now some more broken chord patterns you could do here. This is a very popular one. Use a lot of piano tracks, but also pop music. You could go bottom, middle, top, middle, top, middle, top, middle, and you're just basically alternating between the top 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's one of my favorite ones because it sounds great with chords. As you can hear there. But these patterns are just one part of my complete 3-step system designed especially for music producers and songwriters. So if you're interested in learning the full Fast Track Keys method, you'll definitely want to check out the free workshop that I've shot for you at fasttrackkeys.com/3 secrets. So the second left-hand pattern that I've got for you here is called the root 5th 10th. Now this is very similar to the root 5th octave, but instead of playing the octave at the top, you just go 2 past it, and you're effectively playing the middle note of the chord at the top, which is why it sounds so good. You can play these as chords, but if you've got smaller hands, then it might be a little bit difficult to stretch. So don't worry if you can't play that as one full chord. It does sound great if you kind of stretch it. But if you can't, then definitely have a look at playing these as broken chords. Now you can use the same patterns as I did on the root 5th octave. You can even make your own. But they sound great, really good. So let's try this alternating top 2 pattern. You know where we're bottom, middle, top, middle, top, middle, top, middle. Put some broken chords over the top maybe. So the third pattern that I've got for you here is a bit more of a conceptual pattern than an actual specific pattern that you play. I call it the thumb in between. And the way this works is that whatever you've got going on in your right hand, whether it's an improvisation, whether it's a melody, whether it's broken chords or whatever, you will place a thumb in between it so it's directly going back and forth. So I'll just give you a quick demo and just make sure you watch my left hand thumb and you might be able to see what I'm doing. So the specific rhythms that I was playing there in the right that left a few gaps, which allowed me to place my thumb in between. So for example, I was going like this. And that allowed me space to place some left hand thumbs in between. So it's like I was going back and forth with my left and right hand. So for example, so the next ones I've got for you right here, I call them the root fifth octave crossovers. So for example, you could have a root fifth octave, but you're not just limited to finishing on the octave, you can cross over with either your finger 2 or your finger 3 or 4 and carry on going. So for example, a nice simple one would be root fifth octave crossover to the 9th. Okay, or you could cross over to the 10th as well. Really nice one. And then you can get a bit more involved with these. So for example, if you wanted to cross over with, instead of cross over with finger 2, you can cross over with finger 4 or finger 3 and go a little bit further past the octave. So for example, here I'm using the 9th, the 10th, and then maybe I'll pick the, a G in there as well. Listen to that one. And these can be taken to yet another level if you start combining them with right hand patterns as well. So for example, so the next left hand pattern that I've got for you right here, we're going to use power chords. Now, power chords is basically where you use a root and a fifth and you don't use the octave, yeah? So the way I like to play power chords a lot of the time will be with finger 5 and finger 2. You can also play them with finger 1 at the top, but the reason that's so great to use finger 2 is you can then eventually combine them with root fifth octaves and your thumb will already be in the right place to play those octaves as well. So some things you could do with power chords that are maybe slightly more bandy or more kind of in different styles that you could have a go at. So for example, you could go play the actual chord and just play straight 8th notes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Just like that. So for example, you could play something like this with straight 8. See there, I was just using power chords, but you can obviously alternate that between octaves and root fifth octaves as well. But this is my bonus tip, is now to try and combine all of these patterns. Now, obviously you don't have to combine them all at once. For example, maybe you use a combination of root fifth octaves sometimes. Sometimes it's a fifth. Sometimes it's a root fifth 10th. Sometimes it's a crossover. Yeah, sometimes you use the thumb in between as well. So I'll give you a quick example, yeah? Let's say I was coming up with an improvisation. Just watch my left hand and see if you can spot which pattern I'm using as I go through the improvisation, right? Okay, did you spot it? Now, obviously I was doing that very quickly there, but that is the key to be able to switch it up when you want in the left hand. And obviously you don't need to go as complicated as that, but that was just to give you an idea. So these left hand patterns are one of the fastest ways to inject some human emotion into your piano parts and into your MIDI parts inside the DAW. So I've shot a special playlist for you, my friend, detailing more of these piano patterns, not just left hand ones. We've got right hand ones, two-handed ones, and all sorts. So definitely check out that playlist now by click or tapping on the screen, or another Fast Track Keys video, click or tap on the screen. Smash like and subscribe if you got value, and I will see you in the next video.